Hey everybody, welcome to this brand new series of Stormworks. It might be slightly unusual that you can see me play a different game. I usually just play Minecraft and there's some videos of me playing Skyrim, but I really wanted to do more videos, so I landed on Stormworks as this game that I'm completely invested right now. Stormworks is this game where you make vehicles. I like to make planes, but you can also make boats and land-based vehicles and robots. That I'm playing Stormworks right now does not mean that I'm not playing Minecraft anymore. I really want to do more videos about Minecraft and Redstone, but I also wanted to branch out into other territories. Today I'm making a biplane. I'm gonna walk you through how I usually make planes in whatever games I can make planes, my progress, and the kind of things that I like and enjoy doing with it. Thus far, the plane doesn't really have a name yet. I refer to it as the zebra plane in my save files because of the way I painted it. If you happen to think of any name that fits this plane during the video, please tell me. I would love to have a name that the community chose. Starting off, you can see me work on the engine. The engine is, to me, always the important part because it's the thing that actually gives you enough power to lift. And without having an engine, any shape or any wings or stuff, it doesn't really matter because you don't have that push to actually get into the air. So usually I start off with that. People that are experienced or at least have played Stormworks, they noticed that there was this new block. I'm actually in the beta version. I'm using the 1x1 gearboxes for this plane. Reason is that otherwise I would use a 2x2x1 thing, and this plane would be just 4 blocks bigger, and I kind of didn't like that. I really wanted to have its engine and then immediately after the engine, propellers. You can also see me put the plane down right here, and I have this dial right there. It shows how much fuel I have. One of the things that I find really important in at least Stormworks, because no other game really has fuel, but Stormworks, I want to make sure that my vehicles can at least kind of reach the Arctic, or in other terms, just have enough power to go on for a really long time, in this case an hour. In a bit you might be able to see what plane it is, of course, when I add the wings, because right now it looks like a weird kind of worm. For your information, I'm really not a plane fanatic. I love planes, but I couldn't tell you what a plane is unless I really did active research on it. However, this plane is based on a Fokker D7. It's a World War I German plane. I kind of love the pre-World War II planes. They have this certain charm about them for me. However, together with a friend, he showed me a lot of modern planes. I'm also getting into that right now. By this time, you can actually see already it's flying. I added a gyro for it because gyros help you stabilize the plane. However, somehow, I don't know if it's due to me putting the wrong options or just because of the power level that the plane has, the gyro kept over-adjusting or under-adjusting and kind of took away any kind of good steering of the plane. And I decided, even against the fact that having a gyro in your plane is really helping with keeping your plane stable and you having ease of control, decided against it and just decided that this would be a really hands-on plane. Another thing is that I really didn't want to use electricity because back in those days you didn't really have electricity. They started the planes just by, well, helping the engine already move or do a rotation, but you can't really do that in Stormworks. So the only reason that I use electricity is to make sure that I can start with the power that we have. For the same reason, I also chose to not have any cooling in the motor. The motor actually is just under a low enough RPS to not overheat. If we push it a bit harder, it might overheat. But yeah, so no cooling in this system because back in those days, I told myself, they didn't have cooling, so why should you add cooling? After I remove the gyro, you can actually see the test going way smoother. I can actually move the plane around, land the plane, actually do aerobatics. It's still kind of struggling due to the power level, but it's something that you slowly adjust by just test. and eventually you'll hit the right statistics and the things that you actually want. I think that this plane is a lot happier than Fokkers back then, because Fokkers were completely canvas. The only real things that were in there were the seat and the motor, and for the rest it's just metal bars and canvas. This game doesn't really have canvas, it just has solid blocks. So it was a choice between me actually having a carcass, so just skeleton of this plane, or having a full decorated plane but not just enough power to feel realistic. So what you get is a completely metal plane with a motor and like look that belongs in World War I, where all of the planes were really ultralight, and you can really feel that during flight. You're struggling against gravity and just about winning. In the end, it kind of comes together into this plane that has, again, this charm that I love about them. They just figured out flight. Nothing really is efficient yet, so it's just trial and error, and then you hit a right note at the end of it, and you have a really good plane. So, well, to the paint job right now. I looked at some pictures, and however much the Fokkers inspire me, the paint jobs are either impossible to do with the games, since you have paint blocks but they only go one way. So I chose one that had stripes and everything, and the original was red, so you can see me use red right here, in the same kind of red. And I kind of liked it, but it was a bit too heavy on my eyes, and I kind of decided to go my dark charcoal grey and white color that I love, and that you maybe have seen me use before. So having made the engine, all of the wings and tails, and having colored the plane, the thing that remains now is making a dashboard. I completely inspired myself on the dashboard of Fokkers and other planes of this time. Really simple, honestly, only have one pulley button, the steering stick, and then your altitude, the speed, the RPS of the engine, and how much fuel you have, and that's it. And again, kind of really adore that, even though I would have loved to put more things onto the dashboard. This is simple and usable. After that, it's just bug fixing. There was this bug, or you can really call it a bug, it's more like a thing that you could improve. The tail, when you're like lifting off from the ground, the tail kind of hits the ground, and it didn't really allow you to pull up in time, or pull up at all. You had to fall off of something before your tail could actually go down enough to lift you off the ground. So the way I fixed that was by putting the wheels lower down and adding another set of ailerons on the wings, because then you actually lift the wings up instead of just the tail, and it has a lot more ease moving up. It's now just testing and rewiring everything, and yeah, you can actually see the maiden flight, even though it has been tested before, right here. All in all, this was a pretty quick plane to build. I think it took 3 or 3.5 hours for me to get to the point that I could test it like this. Of course, very fun, and you can expect more of this in the future. If you have any feedback or suggestions for me to do in the future, or ways that I can improve my videos, please tell me. I am eager to improve myself and my videos.